Okay, so here's the problem. We have a coding channel with almost 1 million subscribers. And we have a bunch of content creators and we want to get new content creators on there. I want to be able to pay commissions of $1,000 per 100,000 views per content creator. However, it's not really easy to track who's making the videos. Look at all of this. We have over 500 videos on this channel. So how do we go and identify which video is whose and how much commission do they get? If Daniel, all of his videos rack up 100,000 views, he should get paid $1,000, and same thing with the other people. But if we have to manually do all this work with 500 videos, that's gonna take forever. But knowing that we're all developers in this house, I can't help but think, gosh, there must be a better way. So today is a Saturday and I thought, hey, what better way to spend a Saturday than coming up with a solution to this problem?
Now, there are many ways I can go about solving this problem, but honestly, one of the first ways that's coming to my mind is maybe I can whip up an app because I can't think of any better way to spend my Saturday. Now, for this app, I'm thinking we're gonna need a couple of things. For example, the first thing that comes to my mind is, hey, let's just throw React.js at it to build the app. The other things that I'm thinking are, maybe I'm gonna use a YouTube API, and with that, I'm going to pull all the data from our YouTube channel straight into this app. Now, something fancy that I would like to implement, though I don't know how realistic it would be to use this in this use case, but I am thinking, hey, what's the common thing that we do see that's there? And if you look, every video of Daniel's has his face on the thumbnail. Every video of Nas has his face on the thumbnail. And every video of me has my face on the thumbnail. So I'm thinking maybe we can throw some machine learning algorithms at this, like a facial recognition, to classify which video is whose, so then they can get their commission based on that. And then after that, I don't know, I'm kind of stuck myself, but I'm thinking I can use Firebase if I need to store that data somewhere. But as of now, honestly, I'm thinking React.js for my front end, YouTube API also to pull all the data. And outside of that, I mean, that's really it. Now, we're also gonna need to classify the videos between which videos are Nas's, which videos are Daniel's, which videos are mine, and maybe I might have to use Firebase for that. We're just gonna figure that out as we go. And I'm just gonna document this here with you, and we'll see how much progress we make, and maybe by the end of this day, I'll fail. Maybe by the end of this day, I'll succeed. It's 5 p.m. right now on a Saturday, so let's just freaking go and see what we can do. All right, so what I'm deciding to do is I kind of spent about 30 minutes to an hour researching between using YouTube API or something else. And I want to go the route of using YouTube API eventually, but there's going to be a ton of boilerplate code required for that. So I went through and I looked up and saw if I could use people's already built projects, because I hate doing tons of boilerplate code from scratch. And there are a couple of projects I came across on GitHub that I could potentially use, but I decided right now to hold off and kind of create an MVP, like a minimum viable product, just so I can get up and running like today rather than tomorrow or the day after that. So I'm pausing on grabbing the YouTube API for now. Instead, I'm gonna make this app work with Airtable. Why? Because it's gonna be much easier. Airtable already comes with a database built in, so that's gonna avoid me having to use Firebase for now. So Airtable kind of gives me a backend on the fly, and it has an API built in, so I'll very easily be able to use Airtable API with my React.js app, show all the data, work on the front end, make sure things are how I want them to be, make sure the app is something that I like, and then start going the route of making it more robust and starting to use the YouTube API and eventually maybe even Firebase. So good news, it's 6:15 p.m. and so far I'm able to pull the data from the Airtable, and now let's see how I can actually use it. But that's Awesome. Luckily for us, Airtable has a package that you can install with NPM. So I did NPM or yarn add Airtable, and we got in our project, and then they give you the code. Their documentation is very helpful. So I just need my API, my base key. I also followed a tutorial from Code Stacker. So thank you for your tutorial. This was very helpful to actually follow for my project. So thanks. I saw the use effect hook. It was a smart usage of it. So using use effect, we're able to retrieve all of the data every time our app refreshes or the page loads. And now I'm going to be in the process of using useState to store that, so then I can actually display it on the HTML of my website. So let's code that up now. So shout out Code Stacker. Thank you for this video. That was really valuable. I'm able to actually get the data, and using the use effect hook, I'm able to retrieve it so far. And I think I'm going to use state hook to keep track of the state and then display that data through my HTML, so then you can actually see it on the web page. So let's go and code that up right now. All right, so far it's pretty cool. My app can actually pull data completely actually from Airtable. Let me grab my Airtable. And for example, on the right hand side, all my videos are sorted by views. Okay, just look from here, the Disney and the garbage developers one. I change my Airtable here, right? Let's say change it to be based on which videos got the top. Sure, let's say comments, right? Watch what happens when I hit refresh. Now it's sorting it by comments. Though I haven't added comments there, so that's a little confusing. But okay, let's just sort it by views. Worst videos first, okay? So let's do that. Now if I hit refresh, boom, it's pulling that. So 3,800 views, 8,300 views, 17,000 views, 32,000 views, and so on. It's actually looking pretty freaking good and doing a good job. So right now it's 7 p.m. I'm 2 hours into my development. I mean, my front end skills are usually trash, but I'm very pleasantly surprised by the fact that I was able to put this thing together. You know, I try to model the actual YouTube Studio app, and I would say this app right now has a pretty similar feel to the actual YouTube Studio app. But now I want to work on a couple of different things. Like for example, what I would really like to have is right up at the top here, I would love to see my total views for the week or the entire month. And that kind of gives me a kick in the ass to go, right? And maybe if I have a goal of like, let's say I want to hit 100,000 views this week, then maybe there's like a little horizontal bar that might tell me, hey, you've completed like 75% of that goal. Keep going, with like a little green color that like pops out. The other thing I'm thinking of, maybe I want to use like React has this great library called React Toast notifications. So I might want to use that, where when I achieve something, like the toast notifications pop up or like confetti pops up on the screen. But I want to keep it clean and like really minimalistic. Don't want to add too many things to it because it's going to start looking tacky. I want to keep it minimalistic, but something that I can use that drives me to make more content on YouTube, build better things, and it excites me every day when I look at it. That's really the goal. So next up, the next feature I'm going to add to this is, for example, do you see how I have 10,000 views here, 130? So what I want to do is I want to see all the views, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, or at least like views, comments, and maybe something else, kind of like this. Okay, and I want to do that for all the other videos. Okay, so I'm going to work on that now. One thing I don't understand is why it's completely trash on my mobile device. On the computer mobile mode, it looks perfectly fine, but on my phone, it looks like trash. So right about at this point, our app is actually showing the views, the amount of subscribers we got from that video, and the comments that video generated for engagement. I think views is good, but I think subscribers is a really strong indicator of truly what is creating brand loyalty. And of course, engagement is also really, really good, because like, for example, this garbage developers video that I made, it is very controversial, right? How it is and how I speak in it, and it's very polarizing, right? So that's why I think the engagement on that is really high. On this one, I asked people to leave a comment on channel update. I was talking about something very personal and I was very vulnerable in that video. So this gives me a really good pulse. But if I look at this, it has the most amount of views in the shortest amount of time. I very quickly see, man, we need to be going more of the builds route and dropping more builds on the channel. And also right at about this point, I just committed my code. It is currently 7:20 p.m. We are 2 hours and 20 minutes into our session today. So I hope you're having fun. I sure am. Right now, it is a private repo. And one of the big reasons is because I didn't want to figure out the headache with how to add environment variables in React.js. There is a process to do that, but I'm gonna do that later. For now, I'm just using my API keys openly in this code, so that's why I had to make it private for now. All right, boys. So quick update, still working on the app. 7:48 p.m., 2 hours, 48 minutes into the session. This is what we have so far. I have how many views, subscribers, comments, and then also compared to other videos, how is this video doing? And if it's doing 2x or greater, then I'm also throwing in the fire emoji. Otherwise, it's just like straight up, you know, flat. Now, one thing that was happening was when I was trying to deploy this to Versal, I was getting an error. I don't know, maybe one of you might get that error one day, or I might get that error later in the future, because I know I've had that error in the past. How I circumvented that is by doing this. So in my build command, because it gave me an error with like Travis, so I just said, hey, set the CI to false, and then just do npm run build. And also in my environment variables, I set CI to false. False as in this, and CI as in CI, all caps. I got it from a blog post from dev.to, so if you find this helpful, this might actually help you in case you were trying to deploy something. Other than that, I'm just gonna get straight back to it. Also just made right now, I just made my app a little bit more error prone, so or a little bit more robust, because before it would just break if the multiplier wasn't there. So right now, if a video does not have a multiplier, it will, instead of breaking, just do that. That's good. If I go back, if I don't have a thumbnail and I refresh, it doesn't completely break. It just goes and gives me like an empty thumbnail. And the reason why that's happening is I'm just doing this little check right there. Okay, so that makes sure that that's happening. And then yeah, and then I've added a bunch of these operators here, question mark. So if it doesn't exist, it will not go into the subs. So like for example, if this one does not have subs, if I remove the subs for Next.js and Gatsby one, and I hit refresh, it just goes empty on this thing. Actually, let's see if it gives an error. It wouldn't have given an error anyway, so I guess these question marks are not that helpful. Let's hit refresh, because I think it sends back null anyway, so I think that makes it fine. It's just that here I do have to do this because it says I cannot read the 0th property of something that is undefined, right? So that's why that's there. Okay, let's refresh. All things here. I've centered aligned everything, so it's all centered and nice. It still looks like crap on mobile. You know, that's the only real like bummer right now, because I'm trying to deploy it. When I go to bed, I want to actually be able to use the app from my phone, see how it feels, right? That's the only kind of annoying part. Other than that, I mean, it's looking really, really good. It looks like something I would use. Just, I got to get it working on mobile, because on mobile, it's still all types of mess up. There's some bug in my CSS. I don't know what it is. If any one of you is good in CSS and you can help me find it, that'd be great. So I'll just share my code here. That's my index CSS file. And then I have my app.css file right there. Okay, this is the entire file. So you can pause it and check it. And then the last thing, this is pretty much the main things that I'm using. If you could find the error and help me and drop it in the comments below, that would be freaking awesome, because then I can move on the next day and start working on this app and making it better and better. But other than that, I think what I want to do now is add like total views all the way at the top, so I can really easily see how many views I'm at. I think that's going to be a pretty exciting thing. So let's work on that now. All right, so that was actually pretty cool. I just sat here and worked on something super dope. So I'm now able to get total views, as you can see up here. How this is actually happening, I am just getting all of the view records or whatever, right, that are in my Airtable, and then I'm just calling reduce on that and reducing it, basically summing it up. This is a cool way of using reduce. There's a lot of functional programming principles that are happening here. So if you're a beginner, intermediate at JavaScript, definitely start using this, because people will use tons of for loops and stuff. But this is really, really cool, right? I'm mapping, and map returns to me an array with all of the numbers. So essentially I get back an array of numbers. This is a really good Stack Overflow answer that you guys can use too. I'm getting an array of numbers with this here. So this gives me like all the views of each video. Okay, and then I'm just calling reduce like this, and that essentially gives me back the sum, the cumulative value. Boom, like there. So reduce is really cool. Big time functional programming benefits that you get from it. Okay, just thought I'd share that tip with you. Another thing I actually want to do is I want to get all the videos from this current month and rack up all of those views. So for example, now when I refresh, you'll notice that it says 77,000 views, which is actually adding up 52,000 plus 17,000 plus 8,329. And you'll see why pure JavaScript skills are actually needed, because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't even be able to do basic stuff like this. That one line is really, really sweet. If you look here, set total views, I'm using React useState, right? useState hook. The useState is right there, and I'm doing set total views. Boom. And what's cool about that is React essentially waits for Airtable to give the data back. Once Airtable gives the data back, that's when it dynamically updates the app right over there. This is pretty cool so far. I mean, honestly, I'm really excited. It's 8:36 p.m. and the progress has really, really been phenomenal so far. Like that already, just knowing that number this month, I'm like, wow, I'm at 77,000 views. How can I get to 100,000 views, right? Like, but unfortunately, April is now over, and the way that I made that happen is in Airtable, like kind of like created a filter that just constricts me to these specific dates of April. Right now for May, where am I at? Well, currently for May, I'm actually at 0, right? So I'm going to, let me duplicate this. We're going to rename this to May results, May videos. For my filter, I'll just do is on May 1st, on or after, and is on or before May 31st. Cool. So we got our May filter set up. If I try to use this May videos one, the unfortunate thing that's going to be happening is none of those are going to show because there's nothing yet. So I'll wait until I publish a video in May, and then I'll do that. But my goal is to get the results up, right? Because looking at this result is not very inspiring, right? Because it's 77,000 views, but I want to get to 100,000. So Disney Plus build is kicking ass. I'm going to drop probably LinkedIn. What's the other one? I think we're working on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is going to be freaking sick as well. Honestly, the app is looking really, really cool, and it looks very functional, but I'm going to make that 77,000 just a little cleaner, and probably more like something that stands out a little bit more. Here's just a cool tip. I have this div right here, and I have 2 images, 1, 2 in that div. So I grab the image. So I grab the direct child image. I grab the second child, just that, and I give it a margin of left 4. So it moved it away from that logo closer to that number. So for example, if I remove this, watch where it goes. Boom. So really pro tip, use it and enjoy. Wow, I am so excited right now. Like, my front-end skills are shit. I was just telling my girlfriend this, and this app is starting to look good. Like, I'm actually excited about this. And one thing, huge shout out to my boy Lem, who works with us at Clever Programmer, and he's actually a designer at our bootcamp, Full Stack Mastery Bootcamp that we launched. And I hadn't given the image a height. I'd given it a width, but I hadn't given it a height. That's what was causing the big problems on mobile. So finally, the mobile version is starting to actually look like something. Before, it was just looking hideous. I mean, now that I've fixed the image, put an image height on here, it has kind of like messed up some of the other stuff. So I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna get back to working on it. But this is amazing progress. It's 9 p.m. We are about 3 hours in. I think 3 hours in. Or 4 hours in. I lost track. But we're about 4 hours into this, and this is looking amazing. I'm impressed by my own newly found front end skills because I'm working on these clones for you guys. Man, I'm so excited. Like, I'm reaching new levels as a developer that I had not reached before. So like, this is exciting, and to be able to put together something, and I know we're gonna be using it one day. Also, this is really exciting. I added commissions. So we have views at the top, and then right underneath that, we got commissions. So this is going to be sick. I'm excited. I'm going to keep going for now. All right, check it out. This is where we're at so far. We got the views and we got how much commission that person is gonna make. This is just like random numbers right now. If I hit refresh, watch how that counts up like that. And amazing library I found is called React Count Up. And look at how easy, that is. Go to 723 and take 1.7 seconds. And all you have to do to install it is yarn add React Count Up, or do npm install React Count Up. So the app right now is looking really good. It's completely mobile responsive, looks great on the desktop. I'm having a lot of fun. 9:23 p.m. I might stop soon, actually. Wow, this was an incredibly fun session. I'm so glad that I did this. The app is looking so freaking good. Watch that count up. So if you're a person who's using this, you can see that commission come through. The next few things I think I'm going to work on is I'm going to add a progress bar. That's going to be cool. So like, a content creator like Daniel or Nas can see where they're at and how far they might be from their commission goals. I also want to give it an arcade type of feel where it kind of feels like this 8-bit pixelated arcade game, and then you have these gamified like icons and badges you unlock. So level 1, level 2, and you get new rank. So in the start, you're a private on YouTube, and then you are something else on YouTube, and then you're a colonel, and then you're a sergeant, and then maybe legendary. And I think it would be really cool, and they'll gamify content creation, because content creation is a hard thing. But if you have something fun like this that's kind of addictive, and you're like, man, when I make videos, I can see that bar fill up, I can see myself leveling up, I can unlock a new badge that everybody else can see, everybody else gets a notification that like Daniel just unlocked this. I mean, see each other's progress and where they're at, and maybe even chat from here. So maybe we can add a functionality to chat. Whoever is live on this app, you can chat with each other, or maybe a drop-in audio or something. I don't know yet, but so far I love the UI. It's so freaking simple. The total views are at the top, you have the commission right below it. I mean, it's so simple and elegant, and I think user friendly. I'm 4 hours into my session, and time just flew by. It's 9:39 p.m. I want to be doing this a lot more often. I had a ton of fun. I don't even know where the time went. This is phenomenal progress. I mean, we have a full-on CRUD functionality, right? We can create, read, update, and delete stuff. We have a beautiful, gorgeous front end. We're pulling straight from Airtable. We're using React.js. We're using couple of cool libraries that we decided to add in here. This was so much fun. I didn't know whether we were gonna make any progress or if we were gonna fail or we were gonna suck, and this was cool. Made a ton of progress. We are making headway. This is just day 1 of this app. I'll keep you updated on what happens day 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what do you think about this app. And let me know if you have any recommendations or suggestions of what I should add to it, how maybe I can gamify it in a more entertaining and a fun way. And just let me know if you also enjoyed this video. So looking forward to hearing some feedback from you. This is it. This is your boy Qazi. I love your beautiful face, and I'll see you in the next video. Looking forward to hearing some feedback from you. This is it. This is your boy Qazi. I love your beautiful face, and I'll see you in the next video.